So you're in the new or early game in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. You're under 4 million galactic power, and all you can find out there on the interwebs is people buying shards of Luthen and Dark Trooper Moff Gideon and Darth Bane and Queen Amidala. That's all anybody's talking about in Conquest, but you don't have access to these characters, or you're not going to be getting any use out of them anytime soon. So what should you be spending your Conquest currency on? Let's talk about that. Well, greetings and hello there, everybody. It's me, your beloved Star Wars dad, Nooch Too Good. And yeah, we're going to talk about what you should spend your currency on, or your credits, your Conquest credits on, as a new or early or even getting a mid-game player, playing in Conquest. But before I go and look at we're going to look at my free-to-play account that's only 14 weeks in, and what I'm going to be spending my Conquest currency on. But before we do that, let's talk a little bit about what's going on over here. So, right now, you've got Luthen Rail available, you've got Queen Amidala available, Darth Bane is still available in some of these, and Dark Trooper Moff Gideon. Then you've also got the Conquest store, which will have Dark Trooper Moff Gideon. Who else is in there? I think that Darth Bane will be in here. And I'm not remembering who else is going to be in here, but there are going to be some other characters. It's what's his name? It's what's his name? Oh, no, I got to go look at it. I'm not going to be able to function in this video if I don't figure out. I can't remember his name. His name is Taron Malicos. Taron Malicos is going to be available in the Conquest store as well. But you are an early game player. You're looking at these. You're like, I can't get any use out of these characters. And it's something to really think about. Like, when you look at your roster, and it's something I think about, and I promise you, we're gonna go look at me playing easy Conquest in a moment, but let's talk about with the thought process for when you start to look at farming these characters and getting them on your roster in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. So right now, Luthen Rail is available. We know that Luthen is gonna be feeding Mon Mothma teams and Saw Gerrera teams. So if you haven't really farmed a Saw Gerrera team or a Mon Mothma team, and you're not gonna do it anytime in the near future, and you're sitting around 3.5, 4, 5 million, maybe you're not really focused on getting these Luthen Rail shards all that important, all that big of a deal. But something to remember is that he'll be in the shop, or he'll be here, then he'll be in the store for a while, but eventually he'll move to Proving Grounds, where it's 20 shards a month, period, and that's what you get, or 40 if you buy the Conquest Pass. Queen Amidala, likewise, if you're not focused in on I think somebody was calling them the Poncho Bros, but, Padawan Obi-Wan, or Padawan as I'm calling him, or Master Qui-Gon, Mastagon. If you're not farming those guys, she's not going to be a lot of use in your roster, although she has shown some uses in other teams like Gas or other Galactic Republic teams. She can be a pretty good force. So Queen Amidala is kind of maybe more of a plug-and-play than Luthen Rail is. Darth Bane functions all on his own. So, hey man, if you got an opportunity to get Darth Bane and you're sitting around, the 3 or 4 million, you've got to make assessments. So, for example, if Darth Bane had come out when you were hitting 4 million in Conquest, you might want to prioritize getting those Darth Bane shards and activating him as soon as possible, because he was a solo artist. It's something to watch out for some of our content creators like Arnold or Scribe or who else? Calvin, Zareth. These guys are grabbing these characters early on. Even myself, I'm grabbing these characters early on this account right now. And you can watch us and find out, is this going to be useful for my roster? If the character is going to be useful for your roster, I'd recommend getting him. But as you get into that 3, 4, 5 million range, if the character is not going to be useful on your roster, there's really no need to prioritize it right off the bat. I think that's something we don't talk about a lot. We talk about using this currency or the credits here to get these characters, but if you're going to have characters on your roster that are of no use, there's no point in prioritizing these characters early on, and you can start focusing on other stuff like this gear. Let's take a closer look at that by looking at my free-to-play account, which is currently in Easy Conquest. So here we are in my Nooch Vader free-to-play account. This is why a lot of you came to the video. How do you spend this currency that you got? I've got 1,520 out of 3,500 Conquest credits here to spend, and yet when I look at the Jawa scavenger shops here, yeah, there's not going to be any characters to buy. I mean, in Easy, there are none. I think somebody tell me in normal Conquest, I call it medium sometimes, normal, I can't remember what it's called. There are a few character shards to buy, but generally speaking, if you're in that normal or medium Conquest, you're probably around 2 million. You know, I'm going to get there after this round. I'm going to finish my easy Conquest, and I'll be able to play in normal Conquest next time around. But grabbing those character shards isn't going to be super duper effective. You'll get more of them probably out of the crates in normal. So what do I spend this currency on, this Conquest credits on? Well, the first thing I'm going to say is saving up Conquest credits never hurt nobody. So you can wait until you get up to close to 30, like you get up to 3,000. Maybe you should start spending them then to, you know, because you don't want to waste the credit. You don't want them to go unspent and show no value for you before you get the characters. But as I was mentioning a moment ago, you know, if these Conquest characters aren't going to be a big benefit to your roster, you know, you got a Grand Moff Gideon, Dark Trooper, what is it called? Dark Trooper Moff Gideon, whatever, Beskar Gideon out there, and you don't have a lot of Imperial Remnant characters on the roster that are going to be maxing out anytime soon, you're not going to go fight in Conquest and grab a bunch of shards in them. What should you be spending that on? Well, honestly, guys, you could spend it on gear. And I'm going to take a look at this gear right here. Here's the scavenger shop, Sector 2, Easy Conquest. I can get 10 of these furnaces, these Gear 12 finishers, right side Gear 12 finishers for 150 of my currency, or 20 for 300. That comes down to about 15 per, so 15 per each one of these. That's not a bad deal at all. Right now, I could get, let me see here, 100, right? Yeah, I could spend my currency right now and get 100 of these furnaces. I gotta tell you, 100 of these furnaces is nothing to shake a stick at. That is a big benefit to a roster, especially a free-to-play roster early on. Same thing goes for these guns, these balls, these lenses, these Game Boys, the iPads, the cuffs, the syringes, or the guns, all right, I'm out of names for this stuff, but all this stuff is pretty reasonably priced, honestly, right here, and pretty valuable, and can help you finish up some of your characters at Gear 12 going to relics. So these Gear 12 finishers here, these right side Gear 12 finishers here, very, very valuable in Conquest. Let's take a look at what's in the first here. I can't remember exactly what's up here. Okay, so these are left side finishers in Sector 1. So the left side finishers, it's the same thing. It's actually a little bit better, 12 per each one of these. Again, these are not a bad investment to sink your Conquest credits into early game. I still would recommend, you know, save up to about 3,000. You know, when you get 3,000, you can spend like 1,000 of it, then build yourself back up, because you want to go, when you get up to that 4 million mark, and you start hitting the parts of Conquest where you do want to farm the characters, because when you do get a character like Darth Bane, who's going to be super duper effective on his own or with some of your other Sith, you're looking and saying, I could really use this character. Early on it was Commander Ahsoka, or it was Maul. When that new Conquest character comes up and you can see that they're going to be really useful to your roster early on, or wherever you are in the game right now, it's time to start paying Conquest credits for those characters here in the Wandering Scavenger Shop. But until that time, you're going to spend on gear, and there's nothing wrong with spending on gear. As we get deeper into easy Conquest here, and by the way, yeah, this isn't normal Conquest, this isn't hard Conquest, so the scavenger shops are going to look a little bit different as you move forward through different levels, but this stuff will be available down the road as well. So if you've already farmed up the characters you need, you can go and get that. You can go and get the gear you need too. Here we're getting fragmented signal data, and it costs 10 for each one. I could sure use 150 of this fragmented signal data, couldn't you? And bronzium wiring is going to cost 15 again for each one. Guys, these are good values down here. These are good values. The thing about my roster is I usually find myself pretty flush with fragmented signal data and bronzium wiring. When I farm, you guys watch me farm those light side Chirotechs, the walkie Chirotechs a lot. You get the materials, the Mark V pads for the bronzium wiring, a lot of those in there. So I'm usually okay with bronzium wiring, but if you need it, this is a great place to get it. So basically, until you get to the point where you need to start farming characters in Conquest and you're getting close to 4 million, or you're at 4 million or above, until you get to that point, I would not be shy about spending it on any of this gear that really fits your roster right now. Which of which should you choose? It's all a really good deal. Honestly, all of it, to me, all of it really is a very good deal or a very good price point for all this gear, the left side gear, the right side gear. So whatever fits your roster at the moment, I think you should be purchasing that gear. Honestly, I kind of like this stuff. I kind of like this right side finishers more than anything else. I mean, I think of 100 furnaces here for 1,500. So basically, guys, don't spend your Conquest currency till you get up close to 3,000. When you get to 3,000, start thinking about it. If you're approaching 4 million galactic power, where you're going to open up Proving Grounds, you're going to open up Hard Conquest at 4 million, start thinking about the characters that might be out there in Conquest that might be useful for your roster. If none of them are useful for your roster, you can continue spending your Conquest credits on gear, but keep it at that 2,000 to 3,000 range, right? Keep it between 2,000 to 3,000 of Conquest credits you have, so that when you do identify that character, when you get to 4 million galactic power, or even sometimes in normal Conquest, you can start farming a character as you approach 4 million. But so as you're approaching 4 million and you see that character that could really make a difference on your roster that's available in Conquest right now, so you got 2,000 credits sitting there, you got 3,000 credits sitting there, so you've got more flexibility that way. But as you start to approach 3,000 and you don't see any characters out there, and or you're not approaching Hard Conquest anytime soon, you're not anywhere close to 4 million, just go get yourself some gear in Conquest. That's a great place to spend those Conquest credits. That's what we got for you today. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear from you guys. Have a great one. I will talk to you soon. And of course, always remember, wrong button. Nooch too good.